I'd like to call this meeting to order. Can we have a roll call?
Yes. Commissioner Joseph? Here. Commissioner Lama?
Here.
Commissioner Stuyvesant? She's stepped out.
30 more seconds.
Commissioner Stuyvesant? Vice Mayor Vizcarra?
Here.
Mayor Goldman?
Here.
All members present, ma'am.
Pledge of Allegiance. Who can we? Amy, would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance now that you got your voice back? She just got your voice back. You found your voice. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good job, Amy. For our invocation, a very honorable welcome. So happy to have you here. It's an honor. Father?
Nice to see you all again. Let us pray. Dear wise and loving Father, first let us say thank you on behalf of all who are gathered here today. Thank you for your many and abundant blessings. Thank you for life itself, for the measure of health we need to fulfill our callings, for sustenance and for friendship. Thank you for the ability to be involved in useful work and for the honor of bearing appropriate responsibilities. In the scriptures, you have said that citizens ought to obey the governing authorities, since you have established those very authorities to promote peace and order and justice. Therefore, we pray for our mayor, for our commissioners, in particular for this assembled council. We ask that, Lord, you graciously grant them wisdom to govern amid the conflicting interests and issues of our times, a sense of the welfare and true needs of our people, a keen thirst for justice and rightness, confidence in what is good and fitting, the ability to work together in harmony even when there is honest disagreement. Let us pray for the agenda set before them today. Please give them an assurance of what would please you, that what would benefit those who live and work in the city of Sunny Isles. It is in this, your most blessed name, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you, Father. Approval of the minutes. We have the regular City Commission meeting summary minutes, July 21st, 2022. We had recess. Can we have a motion?
Motion.
So moved. Vice Mayor Vizcarra, do we have a second? Commissioner Lama, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome and thank you for being here tonight. Please turn off or mute any electronic devices to avoid interrupting these proceedings. In all issues that may come before the City Commission, we ask that everyone show mutual respect for one another by listening quietly to each person speaking, and that everyone refrain from any clapping, heckling, or verbal outbursts in favor or in opposition to a speaker. Individuals that do not adhere to Chapter 74 Rules of Procedure of the Code, particularly Section 74-21 decorum, shall be barred from further appearance before the Commission. Individuals who want to speak on any item on the agenda are asked to fill out a public speaker's card and give it to the city clerk before the item is called. Speakers are asked to speak to the issues, make comments concise and to the point, and refrain from making duplicate comments. All speakers will be limited to one 3-minute comment per item. If you exceed the 3-minute allotment, the chair will advise you to finish your comment. If you speak out of turn without permission from the chair or you don't cease speaking after one warning, you will be escorted out of the chambers. There are several changes to the agenda as follows. Revisions to item 9D, ordinance regarding commercial photography. Item 10T, resolution regarding purchase of a shuttle bus. Additional information provided for item 10U, purchase of TDRs from City to Sunny Isles Living LP. Item 10V, purchase of TDRs from City to Len Hausler. There are 3 add-ons. Item 10W, resolution regarding rescinding zoning resolutions 22-Z-190. Item 10X, resolution regarding rescinding resolution number 2022-3381. Item 10Y, resolution regarding expressing support of the honorary designation of Anthony Resnick Boulevard. Item 12C is deferred, discussion regarding single-use plastic food accessories. The following items will be heard out of order. Item 10S, approval of the PBA collective bargaining agreement will be heard after item 5A. Items 10W and 10X will be heard before item 6A, and item 10I will be heard after items 5A and 10S. Do I hear a motion to approve these changes?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Just to preface, we issued 2 proclamations this month. One was issued this past weekend for Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and this evening, Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. Now for the special presentations. Presenting.
Yes, Chief, these are new police hires and promotions.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commission, Mr. Manager. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to call up. I'm going to start off with, I'm going to call up Luke Plisa and Lee Athanasia. So Luke Plisa has been with us for 16 years, and Lee has been with us since day one, original member with me. We both started together 24 years. And as of August 21st, Luke is now promoted to the rank of lieutenant, and as of September 4th, Lee was promoted to the rank of lieutenant. So I would like to wish them congratulations and call up their better half to pin their badge, Dr. Evelyn Plisa, and Lee's 3 beautiful kids. Would like to come down for pictures, please?
Yes.
Actually, we'll introduce the officer and take it all at once. So, also I want to introduce one of our most recent new hires, Officer Josue Monier, comes to us with 15 years experience from the Hialeah Police Department. All right, let's take some pictures and we'll.
Okay, we're ready?
We're ready, Mayor.
Okay, we're taking the item 10S.
Yes, 10S is a resolution approving a collective bargaining agreement between the City of Sunny Isles Beach and Dade County Police Benevolent Association.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, the PBA contract was set to expire on September 30th, 2022. In prior years where this contract had languished and been set aside, working with the PBA representatives, we were determined to get this contract finalized and get it to you before it expired. In negotiating the PBA contract, I had the main goal of this commission in mind, which is to focus on public safety. I also have to consider my role as the manager in negotiating the best contract for the city. What is presented to you today accomplishes both. This solidifies the men and women of the police department with a 3-year contract. With this contract, we can also eliminate the sign-on bonus that was desperately needed to retain and maintain stability in the department. This also helps us further build our community policing department and ensures that we don't have a revolving door. In working with the PBA attorneys and police department reps in all our meetings with professionalism and respect, we worked hard to present to you a contract that is mutually agreed upon and fair for all. From the start, with now the addition of 8 officers in total, there's nothing that we can do better to protect the safety of our residents and public than establishing our police department. With that, and with the full support from you all from the start, and the funding of the police department, I proudly present to you the PBA contract for approval.
No public speakers?
Not for this.
Okay. Open to any comments? Commissioner Joseph? Commissioner Lama? Vice Mayor Vizcarra?
And I'm also very satisfied. I know everybody worked very hard, and certainly stability will give us a better opportunity to grow the way we want appropriately. So I think it's wonderful. I thank everybody for the work they put into it.
I would have to concur and echo those sentiments. I feel like this is just the next step in the evolution of our department and our officers and the strengthening and the foundation to move forward. We've made incredible strides over a very short period of time. Our leadership and our foundational elements, it's a whole new era, and it's really remarkable, and you can see it everywhere. You can see it on the streets, you can see it in City Hall. It's really, this is just, again, the document that moves everything forward for our department. So I think it was a fair compromise and well executed. So thank you very much to our city manager. And with that, I have no further comments, and take a motion.
Motion.
So moved. Second, all in favor? Do we do a
Aye.
roll call or
Voice
nothing?
vote.
Just a resolution?
Voice
Just a
vote.
voice vote? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
That's aye.
Yeah, we're good.
Motion passes?
Yes, motion passes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mayor, the next item that we're supposed to hear is item 10Y, but I'm not sure if Anthony's mom is here yet. So do you want to push it until she gets?
Push it. We can push it.
Okay. So we can go into zoning.
Okay, so I'm sorry, item 10Y is, we're moving.
We're gonna wait
gonna
until
move that out of order.
Anthony's-
10W is the next item?
6A, yes, 10W, I apologize. So
Okay.
10W,
You can work through can you thread the needle?
I don't know how much more I can, but I'll try.
We have to unwind a prior resolution or
Yeah.
on this matter, and then we have to adopt.
Yes.
So there's a sequencing, so go for it.
Okay. So 10W is a resolution rescinding resolution number 22Z190 related to the site plan modification application, number PZ 2022-06, submitted by Sunny Isles Living LP for the project entitled Mansions at Aquilina. And item 10X is a resolution rescinding resolution number 2022-3381 related to the approval of the purchase, sale, assignment, and transfer of development rights from the city's public TDR bank account to Sunny Isles LP, Living LP for the project entitled Mansions at Aquilina.
Are you presenting?
Sure, yes.
Susie.
Honorable Mayor, Vice
Now-
Mayor, Commissioners.
Take that needle, thread it down.
On behalf of Amy, who has lost her voice, I hope I can adequately do this for her. If you recall, at the July meeting, the special meeting, there was the balcony enclosure for Unit 602. At the last minute, there was a change in the amount of TDRs needed. That got approved. It turns out there was not an error. What was originally proposed was correct. So this is to rescind both of those actions so that we can now approve the corrected version, or the original version, honestly.
Siobhan, any comments? None. How many feet were we off by? How many?
5,
5 feet.
308 to 313.
For four items, right? 4 agenda items.
Right.
For 5 feet, huh?
Yes,
Okay. All right.
5
Okay.
square feet.
Are we aggregating these, or are we
We
voting
did
on them
already, Mayor.
separately?
Together. These two,
Together?
yeah.
Okay.
This is to rescind, right?
To
Yes.
rescind and then, okay. So we have no public speakers, we have any comments from the dais? Or we're pretty, we've got that part, right? Okay. So do we have Ed, Valerie, we're okay? We can aggregate, okay. 2 to 2 for the first two. Okay. Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Okay, and then Mauricio, the next two?
Yes, the next two we will hear individually, which is the zoning application,
This-
6A, so if you can just read your
My opening
opening statement.
my statement. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening's agenda has 2 zoning applications. In these matters, the commission sits in a quasi-judicial capacity. The decision of whether or not to approve a zoning variance is not a popularity contest, but must be based upon substantial, competent evidence as it is presented tonight. If you intend to provide testimony on any zoning application, you must be sworn in by the city clerk, and you should also fill out a public speaker's card and give it to the city clerk before the item is called. We will first hear from city staff and then from the applicant. After this, I will allow anyone from the audience who has been sworn in to provide testimony. The zoning applicant has the right to cross-examine any witness and for rebuttal. Please make your comments concisely. Mr. City Clerk, please read your introductory zoning statement.
In accordance with the LDRs of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, all items to be heard today have been legally advertised in the newspaper. Notices have been mailed and posted on the properties. All persons wishing to speak at this hearing, please raise your right arm to be sworn in. Do you guys just want to raise your arm just in case something happens? Okay. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you. And this is for item 6A, which is the request of Sunny Isles LP Living for a balcony enclosure at the property located at 17749 Collins Avenue, unit number 602. And before we proceed, are there any ex parte communications that need to be disclosed?
No.
No.
Okay. Mayor, this item also has a companion resolution, which is the purchase of TDRs. We can hear that one as well so that we don't have to keep going back and forth.
Which items are,
This is 10U.
10U.
Yes, I'll
Okay.
just read it into the record very quickly. 10U is a resolution approving the purchase and assignment of transfer development rights in the amount of 313 square feet of floor area ratio and 0 dwelling units from the city's public TDR bank account to Sunny Isles Living LP.
Honorable Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Commission. This is Unit 602 at Aquilina, and they are proposing to purchase 313 square feet of TDRs for enclosing the balcony. It will result, if approved, it will result in a total Mansions at Aquilina project of 433,875 square feet. Any questions?
We've had, this is not a fire drill here. We've been through this before. Not our first one, and certainly won't be our last, so we're quite familiar with this process. So we have no presentations, no public speaker cards, so we're all pretty much apprised and familiar unless we have any other comments from the dais. If we can have a motion. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Okay.
we set? Okay.
6B is a request of Len A. Hausler for the balcony enclosure at the property located at 17749 Collins Avenue, unit number 390102. And this one also has a companion resolution for the purchase of TDRs, which is item 10V as in Victor. And it's a resolution approving the purchase and assignment of TDRs in the amount of 824 square feet of floor area ratio and 0 dwelling units from the city's public TDR bank account to Len A. Hausler.
Honorable Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commission, this is Unit 3901-02. It is for a total of 824 square feet of floor area to a apartment at Mansions at Aquilina. With the approval of this, there will be the overall project size for Mansion at Aquilina of 434,699 square feet.
How many of these balcony closures have we approved so
We
far?
were going to ask that. Amy is actually working on, since she got here, she's working on calculating not just the number of balcony enclosures we've had, but how
But
many
the
square
TD
feet
yeah.
it
Okay,
has added to the overall project.
okay. I'd be interested to find that information out. Okay. No public speakers. We've been, again, through this drill numerous times. So unless we have other comments from the dais, if we could take a motion?
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Okay. Next item?
Next item is ordinance of first reading. 7A is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, Florida, amending the coastal management element and future land use element of the adopted City of Sunny Isles Beach Comprehensive Plan pursuant to the evaluation and appraisal of the comprehensive plan, providing for transmittal to the State Land Planning Agency and other reviewing agencies identified in Florida Statutes 163.3184 1C, authorizing the city manager to do all necessary to implement the terms and conditions of this ordinance, providing for an effective date. And this is first reading.
Okay.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, this is the ordinance that the LPA just recommended to you as the City Commission, and is explained by the previous speaker.
No public speakers?
No.
Comments? No comments? So we have to a voice vote?
We need a motion.
Motion, second?
Okay,
Voice.
voice vote. Commissioner Joseph,
Yes.
Commissioner Lama,
Yes.
Commissioner Stuyvesant. Vice Mayor Viscara,
Yes.
Mayor Goldman.
Yes.
The ordinance passes on first reading. Second reading will be scheduled once we receive it back from the state.
And just to clarify the record, that also included the approval of item 10V, as in Victor, correct?
6B.
6B.
And 10V.
Yeah, 6B, we're on 7A, right?
we grouped together 6B and 10V.
Yes, yes. we
So
did.
that, the motion that just passed is for both of those items, correct?
No, the motion that just passed is for the ordinance for first reading.
Oh, I'm
Is
sorry.
the-
I apologize.
I did have a question. Ed, do you know how long it'll take for the state to come back? Or have a ballpark?
Jeff?
It should not take very long for this, but maybe Amy knows, or maybe our consultant knows.
They'll probably act on this quicker, but they have 60 days by
Okay.
law.
Thank you.
Okay. Item 7B.
7B is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, Florida, amending Section 108-10, permit conditions of Chapter 108 of the City of Sunny Isles Beach Code of Ordinances, entitled Beaches, to require permittees to maintain their respective beach chair pre-setting area and the area immediately surrounding the beach chair pre-setting area, free of junk, garbage, trash, litter, debris, or other refuse material, providing for repealer, providing for severability, providing for codification, providing for an effective date. And this is first reading.
So we've had many discussions internally in the city about how, given that the state owns our beach and the county maintains it, but how can we continue to, upgrade or safeguard beach integrity? And one of the tools that we pose here for the toolkit is to increase in some respects the responsibility of the property owner that has the beach pre-setting area. So this is just another way of getting a little more cooperation and engagement from the private property owners to really ensure that as part of the permitting process, they can keep their beach area clean. And again, we see higher utilization. The property owners have the benefit of the preset areas. So how can they help in that overall process of maintaining the cleanliness and the integrity of the beach? So the language which Valerie Vincente so graciously provided throughout those discussions it's just a very simple add-on to the existing ordinance, which is maintenance of beach chair pre-setting area. The owner shall maintain or cause to be maintained the beach chair pre-setting area and the area immediately surrounding the beach chair pre-setting area, free of any junk, garbage, trash, debris, or other refuse material. And again, just creating more responsibility, more involvement from the property owners to keep their beach preset area clean. So I'm very pleased that we've come up with something that, again, in furtherance of our beach integrity objectives. So with that being said, I don't know if we have no public speaker cards or comments. So with that, if we can open this up for discussion. Commissioner Lama.
No, I think this is great, and I hope that it will keep the beaches cleaner, and that the parties will be responsible, and they need to acknowledge that this is for their own good as well, and for the good of the community.
Thank you. Commissioner Joseph.
Yes, and I was also, I don't know if we've considered as far as how we're going to require compliance with the property owner cleaning up after their residents. Also, if there happens to be a outside resident that wants to use that beach space, we need to still have an open rapport with the property owner as to their making. I've had so many calls where residents, outside residents, let's say from people from Arlen House, they walk across the street to the beach, and they're constantly being shut out from beach area where they can put their own chair. And I think we have to have an open rapport with the property owners to somehow mitigate that.
Keep the the beach is public. I will also add that we're in design phase with, amped up and new and improved signage. We're going to have prohibited items that in the beach access areas. So hopefully with the increased and upgraded signage, and then this new ordinance, that we can continue to evolve and in our quest for beach integrity.
Yeah,
We're looking for that soon, right? Rolling down the pike. The signage for the beach access areas.
Yeah, so I just wanted to add, so I had a meeting with IBIS. Obviously, she's in charge of the tourism board.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it'll be great too, we were talking about this issue and on other issues. I think it'll be great to talk to these hotel operators and also communicate with them and start, having those operators perhaps hand out some literature to their guests as far as, making sure that they're responsible, that they're not littering and all that.
Well,
Yeah.
one of the things that we've discussed, and we've probably all individually met with IBIS, and we've had a Zoom with the hoteliers, the managers, as well. Recently, we talked about that and doing a video, like a
Yeah, she
public
told me
service
about that.
announcement. So we don't want to have more handouts and more litter on the beach.
Yeah.
We'd like to
But,
keep
at least
we'd
have
like to
that
keep it a little,
educational
right.
component, yeah.
Right, but we want to embrace that message, not only with the private property owners in their residence, but we also want to, embrace that with the hoteliers in the area for the
Get
transients.
to know Sunny Isles for people who are coming here to visit. And this is what's, at your fingertips, and these are also our ordinances to please adhere to as well.
Right, don't trash our treasure.
Okay, I want some clarification about the enforcement of that. Who's gonna?
Stan? So it's part of our permitting process, but Stan our city manager can address that.
Our code department would be responsible for enforcing it as part of their daily patrol.
And they're gonna be getting fines, citations, what's gonna be the consequences?
The end result, if they do not comply, is a fine, yes.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor Viscara, you have any comments?
Nothing different than what everybody else has said. I think it is important to protect our beach. It's not fair to leave the extra cleaning to volunteers and do-gooders, because there should be, we need to convey to the users of the beach, whether they're residents or visitors, that it's something to be respected. So however we convey that message, I think that's still an ongoing conversation, but I think this is an important step and certainly support it.
Great, okay, I think we're pretty much
It
concluded
goes,
with
something
that.
that goes back years, don't be a litter bug, or, whatever motto
It's our
there used to be.
number one asset is our beach, right?
Yeah.
So we got to protect it. Do we have a motion? Do we have a motion? Second, a voice vote?
Yes.
A voice,
Roll call.
roll call vote.
Commissioner Lama,
Yes.
Commissioner Syverson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Viscara,
Yes.
Commissioner Joseph,
Yes.
Mayor Goldman.
Yes,
The ordinance passes on first reading. Second reading will be scheduled for October.
okay. We're going to ordinances for second, or we have a public,
can
or
take,
we're going to take?
10Y,
10Y.
yes.
Okay, 10Y.
10Y is a resolution expressing support of the honorary designation renaming of State Road 826, Sunny Isles Boulevard, as Anthony Resnick Boulevard.
So, yes, thank you. So the City Commission would like to honor the memory of Anthony Resnick. You all know it was a tragic death that we had on 8/26. I know his mom is here, and we'd love to hear from you. So the Commission would like to honor the memory of Anthony Resnick by designating Sunny Isles Beach Boulevard as Anthony Resnick Boulevard. The state is already on board, but by statute, it's a requirement that the city do a resolution to formalize that. And so that's what this is. I know that there was this comes from the community, this is it's coming from his family. If I recall correctly, I think Commissioner Stuyvesant was one of the ones who was out there making this request back when it happened. And obviously, like we've always said, whatever the city can do to help this process, the healing, improving the law, whatever we can do, whatever's in our power to do, we will do it gladly. I'll just read the resolution briefly, and then we'll open it up. It says, whereas on February 10, 21, Anthony Resnick, an 11-year-old boy, was struck in a traffic-related incident on State Road 826 on Isles Beach Boulevard, which resulted in his ultimate death. And whereas Anthony was highly regarded by the residents of the city of Sunny Isles Beach as a promising youth with a bright future, and whereas before his tragic passing, Anthony was a student of Norman S. Edelcup, Sunny Isles Beach K-8, where he made an impact on many lives. Whereas the students of SIB K-8 and the residents of the city have expressed their support of the honorary designation of Sunny Isles Beach Boulevard as Anthony Resnick Boulevard. And whereas State Senator Jason Pizzo has also expressed his support of the honorary designation in honor of Anthony. And whereas the Florida State Legislature recently passed Senate Bill 160, which included the honorary designation of Sunny Isles Boulevard as Anthony Resnick Boulevard. And whereas Florida Statute 334.071 provides that a city or county must pass a resolution in support of a particular honorary designation before our road markers are erected. And whereas the City Commission would like to honor Anthony Resnick by designating Sunny Isles Beach Boulevard as Anthony Resnick Boulevard, now therefore be it resolved by the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, Florida, as follows. And basically, we're supporting the honorary designation. We're going to direct the city clerk to distribute the copies of the resolution to the Florida Department of Transportation, and the resolution will become effective upon adoption. So, I guess you're very welcome, and you're certainly welcome to come and speak if you'd like. You're okay? All right. Well, then with that, we would entertain a motion.
Do we have a motion? Commissioner Stuyvesant, do we have a second?
Yes,
Commissioner
second.
Joseph, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Enthusiastic, yes.
Yes.
9A,
9A is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, Florida, amending the adopted City of Sunny Isles Beach Comprehensive Plan to create a property rights element in compliance with Florida Statute 163.3177, 6.1, providing for transmittal to the State Land Planning Agency, authorizing the city manager to do all things necessary to implement the terms and conditions of this ordinance, providing for an effective date. And this is second and final reading.
any presentation, or this is a,
Mayor, I'd be happy to summarize what we're doing here. A while back, the Florida legislature adopted a statute that required all municipalities and counties to adopt what's known as a property rights element in their comprehensive plan. And so we're just right now complying with those requirements of state statute.
thank you. No public comments, self-evident compliance item. If we have any comments, this is a second reading. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Have a voice?
Roll call. Commissioner Stuyvesant?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Viscara?
Yes.
Commissioner Joseph?
Yes.
Commissioner Lama?
Yes.
Mayor Goldman?
Yes.
The ordinance is adopted.
Item 9B,
9B is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, Florida, amending ordinance number 2021-574, approving budget amendment number BA 2122-03 to the city's operating and capital improvement budget for the 2021-2022 fiscal year. General Fund, Special Revenue Fund, Capital Projects Fund, and Stormwater Capital Fund, authorizing the city manager to do all things necessary to implement the terms and conditions of this ordinance, providing for an effective date. And this is second and final reading.
Honorable Mayor and Commission, so this is our third budget amendment for the fiscal year, second reading. I do want to point out that 2 items were added from the July 1st reading. So the first one is the to allocate funds for the purchase of a bus, 2022 bus, and so that's actually on the agenda for further approval for that purchase. And then the other is we got the second tranche of the ARPA funds this fiscal year as opposed to next fiscal year. So there's an adjustment to record that receipt.
Excellent.
Okay. No public speaker comments. Do we have any, unless we have any comments from the dais?
No.
Any?
No?
Commission? Pretty straightforward. We've
Pretty straightforward.
asked and answered.
Need the
Okay.
vehicle.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
And I second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
This
No,
is a
roll call.
voice-
Roll call.
Voice, roll call.
Vice Mayor Viscara,
Yes.
Commissioner Joseph,
Yes.
Commissioner Lama,
Yes.
Commissioner Stuyvesant, Mayor Goldman.
Yes,
The ordinance is adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you. Item 9C,
9C is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, Florida, amending Chapter 99 of the City of Sunny Isles Beach Code of Ordinances entitled Public Health and Safety, creating a new Article 5 within Chapter 99 of the code to be entitled Prohibition of Smoking at Public Beaches and Park Property, providing for the prohibition of smoking at public beaches and park property, providing for definitions, providing for enforcement and penalties, amending the schedule of civil penalties and miscellaneous fees in Chapter 14 of the Code, providing for repealer, providing for severability, providing for conflict, providing for codification, providing for an effective date, second and final reading.
so we've well discussed this item at the first reading, and this is really a home rule issue. The ability of our cities to regulate again on our beaches now that the state preemption has been lifted with respect to cigarettes. So I just want to know that when we put up those signs, whether we're going to have a little red no cigarette icon on our new signs, our new beach access signs, to add to the list of things we don't want on the beach, right? Okay, sounds good. So I'm clearly a proponent of getting the cigarette butts off of the beaches, and again, beach integrity and protecting our beaches and cleanliness and so forth. So with that said, unless we have any comments from any of our commissioners or the dais, anyone?
No, I mean, we went over this.
We went thoroughly.
Last time. Obviously, it's, like I said before, anywhere where you could reasonably expect there to be children should be free of smoke. And our parks, our playgrounds, prior to this, we couldn't regulate that. The beach is a reasonable place. Plus, you have the additional problem of the improper disposal of the cigarette butt. So
Right, kids playing
this
with
should, yeah, I mean, when we do the beach cleanups, it's buckets full of that stuff. It's not an ashtray, the beach is not an ashtray. Our parks are not an ashtray, so now we're gonna address that formally, and I fully support it.
It's about enforcement again.
That's
Enforcement. That we can write anything in paper, but we need to make sure that we are enforcing this.
Well, we are, to that point, I think we've added code enforcement and beach patrol, law enforcement patrols. So I think we're making progress in that direction.
Perfect.
So,
But this is
People know
the
that
first
we're
step. You
serious,
can't have
they'll
enforcement
adhere
without the ordinance.
to the law.
I'm sorry,
We just
Jerry.
need to show the residents that we're serious, and the visitors especially, and then they will adhere.
Correct. I agree.
okay, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second? Second, voice,
Roll call.
roll. I keep calling it a voice, but it's a roll.
Roll call. Vice Mayor Viscara,
Yes.
Commissioner Joseph,
Yes.
Commissioner Alamo,
Yes.
Commissioner Stuyvesant, Mayor Goldman.
Yes,
The ordinance is adopted.
great. Item 9D,
9D is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, Florida, creating Chapter 232 of the City of Sunny Isles Beach Code of Ordinances to be titled Commercial Photography, to provide for the regulation and permitting of commercial photography on private and public property, providing for exemptions, providing for penalties, providing for repealer, providing for severability, providing for codification, providing for an effective date.
Honorable Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, this item is here before you for second reading. In the first reading, there was some healthy discussion about what exactly could and could not be permitted. And in that conversation, we went back, and Valerie did a great job and added some language so that it would better reflect what our goal is, which is to continue to regulate this in the same way that we have been for the last 23 years without a formal process, but now we will have one. And that is to add that production equipment, if production equipment is required, then a permit is being used, then a permit is required. And you can find that in section, yeah, it's on page 2 at the top.
page 2. So, we have no public speakers, but I will say that after I balked at what I thought was overreaching, I think that you've done an excellent job of clarifying that and making that a much more fair-minded ordinance. So thank you. I think it's good wordsmithing, good draftsmanship. So I'm satisfied with the change, and I think it makes it an effective ordinance. So I support this and approve this. Do we have comments? Commissioner Lama?
No. I'll move.
Commissioner Joseph? Commissioner
No comment.
Stuyvesant?
No, these are second reading issues. We went
Second
over them.
reading? Okay.
The language is very good.
I think it's very good, so I'm happy, so I approve. So if we have a motion,
Tell someone to find
So moved.
roll call.
so moved. Commissioner
Second.
Lama, second. Vice Mayor Viscara, roll.
Roll call.
There you go. This one's voice.
Commissioner Lama,
Yes.
Commissioner Stuyvesant. Yes. Commissioner Joseph,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Viscara,
Yes.
Mayor Goldman.
Yes,
The ordinance passes.
good. Now we finally have an ordinance, right? Right, Stan? We have an ordinance. Okay. Okay, we're on to resolutions. Item 10A.
10A is a resolution approving the renewal of commercial package policy, property liability, automobile, workers' compensation, and miscellaneous insurances with Brown & Brown Preferred Government Insurance Trust for the period of October 1st, 2022 through September 30th, 2023.
Honorable Mayor and Commission, good evening. This is our annual renewal of the city's property liability, auto, and workers' comp insurance. We have Bob Hollander with Brown & Brown here tonight with me. We work closely with him to make sure we get the best rates possible, and after some negotiations with the carrier, we were able to get a renewal of 12% more than our current premiums, and basically that was all because we added $3 million in property with the purchase of Navarro and the addition of Turnberry, the fleet office that we took possession of that used to be the Alamo next door. So that kind of accounts for that increase. So that's a proposal we're bringing forward tonight for your approval. I'm not sure if Bob wanted to.
If there's any questions.
If there's any questions,
Any questions or comments?
we'll be happy to answer them.
Inflation. No, we recognize that there's several factors that contributed to this increase. So if you care to comment on that,
I would just like to say, again, Bob Hollander from Brown & Brown Insurance, that the insurance market in Florida, especially in South Florida, is in quite a turmoil. You probably have heard about it, or you may have experienced it personally in your own personal insurance. So in all the years I've been in the business, I've never seen such a tight market. We've had many insurance companies leave the state. We've had insolvencies and liquidations of carriers. So it really comes down to, frankly, a matter of supply and demand. The demand's greater and the supply is less. Now, your situation is unique because you're in a trust, a pooling effect for the Preferred Governmental Insurance Trust. So you're pooled with a few hundred other municipalities and government agencies throughout the state of Florida. And frankly, we did expect an increase of about double this, but we were able to keep it down. And probably, like Yael says, approximately half of the increase is due to increases in exposure, payroll, values of property, values of new vehicles being added instead of the old vehicles. So overall, we were pretty pleased. And the one very nice thing I'd like to say is our workers' comp went down 8%. Our experience modification has gone down drastically, which is very, very good. And that's attributable to Yael and our work with the claims and with the trust. So I think overall we're doing very well.
Thank you for clarifying.
And I would just like to make a comment if I can. Honorable Mayor, Honorable Vice Mayor, and Commissioners and Managers, I want to thank you for your continued support. It's been a very long time, and I certainly, sincerely appreciate it. And I especially want to thank your HR Director and Risk Manager, Yael Landano, for her support and assistance throughout the years. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Okay. No public comments, speakers, so we have a motion? Yes. Commissioner Stuyvesant? Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. Vice Mayor Viscara, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, no roll. No roll. Thank you.
Thank
Good
you very
job.
much.
Thank you.
Good job. Item 10B,
10B is a resolution ratifying the expenditure of partial forfeiture funds from the Department of Justice in accordance with the Comprehensive Crime Control Act of 1984 for a new crime scene vehicle and a space assessment feasibility study.
Good evening again, Honorable Mayor, Commission. We're here seeking ratification of the expenditure of DOJ forfeiture funds for the purchase of a crime scene vehicle, a Ford Explorer Hybrid, which will be used to respond to crime scenes with all the necessary equipment for $47,000. Additionally, we're seeking the ratification of the expenditure of DOJ forfeiture funds for the feasibility study conducted by Architect Design Group to design a new police station and conduct a comprehensive site feasibility study and space needs assessment for the amount of $104,053.
no public speakers, comments? Pretty self-explanatory. Commissioners, do you have a motion?
I just want to say forfeiture funds are my favorite. They make it easy for us, so I appreciate that.
Gotta make some more drug busts, huh? Just spend. We got, right, so, yes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, item 10C.
10C is a resolution authorizing the Chief of Police in accordance with the Comprehensive Crime Control Act of 1984 to expend partial forfeiture funds from the Department of Justice federal forfeiture account for new police officer hires, automatic card readers, police equipment, and community events.
Again, we are seeking approval to expend DOJ forfeiture funds for replacement positions for detached personnel. Currently, we have 2 detectives attached, one to the DEA and one to the FBI. In an effort to maximize police presence and visibility in Sunny Isles Beach, the funds will be used to add 2 full-time police officer positions for the amount of $217,280 for this coming fiscal year. We are also seeking approval to expend DOJ forfeiture funds of $10,000 to purchase giveaways for community policing items for use at various events. The giveaways have been quite popular and provided an opportunity to engage with the community. We're also seeking approval to expend DOJ forfeiture funds of $2,750 to purchase 3 additional Apple iPads for recently promoted supervisors. The Apple iPads will allow the supervisors to work more efficiently and provide a host of benefits to include evidence collection, improved communication, optimizing the dissemination of police paperwork, and limiting the use of paper as we aim to move towards more environmentally sustained practices. Lastly, we're seeking approval to expend DOJ forfeiture funds of $5,670 to purchase automatic card readers for the use with the electronic citation module previously approved. The automatic card readers will populate driver information into the police computer to more efficiently issue driver citations, which will be issued a lot faster.
More refrigerator magnets, right?
Yes.
With good numbers on them, right?
Yes, we actually, that's been a big hit, or our new vest, Scene or Be Seen, that we're giving out to the children, and actually adults are now actually requesting them.
Oh, that's great.
Excellent. Okay. No comments from the public, so if we have a motion? Second, anyone?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Item 10D,
10D is a resolution ratifying the expenditure of budgeted funds for the purchase of police and ocean rescue vehicles from Bartow Ford.
We are seeking ratification of the purchase of the following from Bartow Ford in amount not to exceed $639,221.75. I'm going to break it down. It's going to be one police K-9 Ford F-150, one police Ford F-150, 5 police Ford hybrid vehicles with prisoner cages, 4 Ford police hybrid Explorers, and 1 Ford Ranger for ocean rescue.
these are all previously budgeted items.
Yes,
Mhm.
and also purchased on the GSA contract, which saved us from paying above the GSA price, which is above MSRP, which if we went to the dealer straight.
On hybrid vehicles as well. Good.
And I just have one question, Chief. So the vehicles that these are replacing, those what, go to auction, or they go to the dealer
So
on
they're,
exchange, or what?
they either go as spare vehicles or auction.
Okay. So when they go to auction, what do we, I know depending upon the, the condition and all of each vehicle, but what is, what do we look to get on a basic vehicle?
So
I-
that would be
There's-
Audra.
Yeah, I can,
Audra, there you are.
Good evening, all. Given the current market conditions, I have been pleasantly surprised. I have auctioned off a significant number of vehicles in the last 2 months, and in the past, for a, say, 10-year-old Crown Vic or such, we might have gotten $2,000. They've been bidding up to $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a piece, which is amazing for the number of miles and the number of idle hours that they have on them.
Right.
So the current, it's going to vary by vehicle very, very much. But the current market, not only do you pay more for a new vehicle, but we are getting significantly more for those that are being surplused out on govdeals.com. And for the general public that are listening, all of our surplus property, whether it be vehicles, furnishings, anything that the city disposes of, we do put out to auction on govdeals.com. So
Right.
please watch the site because there's a lot of items going up currently.
So we handle that ourselves, so there's no middleman.
I post them all.
Right.
We get full bid price on them. We negotiated an arrangement with them whereby the buyers pay a buyer's premium. That's how GovDeals makes their money.
Excellent.
We get our full price no matter what, and we pay no fees to
Right.
GovDeals anymore at all.
Perfect. Good.
Great.
And these
Thank you.
vehicles are typically 7, 8, 9 years old, or?
Sometimes more. The ones that we have done recently, a 2005 Explorer, a number of 2009 to 2011 police vehicles, and a 2012 F-150, a couple others. But they are all in excess. The ones we've currently been doing, except for the Dodge Chargers, which we were having mechanical issues with, those were 2014s, but most of them were 10 years old or more. The
Right.
Chargers were 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
When they outlive their serviceable lives and/or become maintenance nightmares, they can't stay in the fleet anymore. It costs more to maintain them than it does to replace them.
Exactly. Yeah, I think
Thank you.
a lot of people don't realize the wear and tear that goes into a service vehicle for a police department, as well as being on, in the salt air. So so
Correct.
close to the ocean.
And it's very important to note that, especially with police vehicles, not only do you have a number of miles from constant use, but the idle time, the time that a vehicle spends running, wears a lot on the components of a vehicle. And so when people ask us questions on GovDeals about how these auctions go, that's one of the main questions they ask us is, what does the hours meter on the vehicle read? And they are very, very high in a police vehicle.
Okay,
Thank you for clarifying.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have another motion? So moved. Commissioner Stuyvesant, do we have a second?
Second?
Second, Vice Mayor Viscara, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Item 10E,
10E is a resolution approving an agreement with Waterfield, Florida Staffing, doing business as Staffing Connection to provide school crossing guard services.
The current contract for crossing guard services is expiring, and we're seeking approval to enter into a new contract with Waterfield Staffing, doing business as Staffing Connection, for the amount not to exceed $438,645.60. The contract will begin on October 1st, 2022, and has an initial 2-year term with the option to renew for 3 additional 1-year terms. The contract will allow the police department to deploy 13 crossing guards and 1 supervisor at designated locations throughout the city.
so you've added the location, correct? The, by the pedestrian bridge, and you have that enforcement
Yes. So-
arm.
I can go over all the locations if you wish. We have 183 in Collins Avenue, 2 guards. 178 in Collins Avenue, 2 guards. 183rd Street, Atlantic Boulevard, 2 guards. 182nd Street and North Bay Road, 1. 178th Street and Atlantic Boulevard, 1. 182nd Street and Atlantic Boulevard, 1. 181st Street and North Bay Road, 2. 174th Street and North Bay Road, 1. And 172nd Street and North Bay Road, 1.
Great. I'm sure it's been very effective
And that's
the-
additional to our officers.
to the extent that we have such a large school population
Yes.
census.
Yes, Mayor.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you for the added presence and the crossing guard on 174th and the pedestrian bridge. It was much needed. It had been requested for quite a while, and thank you for making it happen. So that's a big help, believe me. I mean, from my balcony, I could see all the kids, just whizzing by, whether with their scooters or bikes, and it was just, I was a nerve wreck. I mean, just looking at that, it was too much, yeah. So thank you for that, because there's some order there now, yeah. And thank you for your presence. I know that the officers are there often, and, it's great to see you there. Thank you.
Pleasure,
Yeah,
pleasure.
that-
And that's also a location we set up our community policing tent and do the helmet education and enforcement and
I love those.
Yeah, no, the presence there really is significant, because not only you have all that traffic, I don't think I'm alone in seeing cars kind of blow through those stop signs. They're just not that respectful. And on the other side of the bridge, on the Porto Bellagio side, we have like that very weird curved crosswalk with 4 buildings around it. That was always a concern, even with the stop sign there. And that having a crossing guard there does make a difference. I know the families appreciate it, so. And just one additional comment I want to make. I don't want to belabor this more than it needs to, but this is a really good example of, when we're talking about the budget, it's like, we don't have to do this. We don't have to do this, but you balance the interests. You want the children to be safe. You want people at the intersections. So then this is a really good example of how we balance that. We have to spend a little money to get the quality of life issues addressed and address our concerns. And that, to me, this is a no-brainer. So I think, good job.
thank you.
Well, this is, I believe, what residents expect of a city and a city commission.
Commissioner,
and
can you
a
grab
PD.
the microphone?
And we're doing it. And I hear myself that it's highly regarded, the job that we're doing.
Thank you.
That being said, do we have a motion?
So moved.
So moved. Second, all in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Eddie.
Thank you, Chief.
Item 10F,
10F is a resolution approving blanket purchase orders for purchase of necessary office and other supplies and services from various vendors for fiscal year 2021, 2022, under $50,000.
Genesis,
Good
you're up.
evening, Honorable Mayor and Commissioners. So I have several items I'm presenting tonight. The first item is requesting approval for the blanket purchase orders list for fiscal year 22-23 under $50,000 per PO. The informal bidding threshold amount is $50,000 and below. The following is a list of blanket purchase orders, also known as BPOs, which the city commonly uses. The vendors on this list have been procured either through a piggyback contract, through 3 quotes, or an approved sole source. This item is being presented to you tonight as a form of transparency to reflect the frequently used purchase orders, to reflect the frequently used vendors under the informal bid amount, which is $50,000. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
Very clear, the spreadsheet and the detail and the level of transparency, and very good. I've reviewed and have no comments.
Okay.
No public speakers. Do you have any comments from the commission? Or a motion? So moved. Commissioner Stuyvesant, second. Commissioner Joseph, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're going to keep rolling with
Keep it
this,
rolling.
right?
Yes.
Okay. Item 10.
10G is a resolution authorizing the city manager or designee to purchase necessary office and other supplies from Staples for fiscal year 2022, 2023.
So this request is brought to you tonight to request approval to award a blanket purchase order with Staples for office supplies, IT equipment, and other supplies for fiscal year 22-23, and an amount not to exceed $65,000. I just want to note that our Staples account is tied to the state of Florida piggyback contract pricing, so we receive very competitive pricing.
No public speaker cards, and any comments from the dais, or can I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, 10H.
10H is a resolution authorizing the city of authorizing the city manager designee to purchase necessary office and other supplies from Amazon Business for fiscal year 22-23.
Okay. This next item is requesting approval to award a blanket purchase order for fiscal year 22-23 in an amount not to exceed $100,000. And this item is also piggybacking a national cooperative contract titled Omnia Partners.
Amazon?
No.
I think we all know Amazon. We have no public speaker cards. Any, Commissioner Joseph?
I would just like to say that I don't know if the residents that are here or that are listening in are aware that, and you see that the commissioners, don't have comments on each of these items, and it's because we've had agenda reviews and we've gone over these items thoroughly with the city manager and have had the ability to ask questions and receive answers. And this is pretty much a formality for us since we've gone over these issues previously.
Correct.
Thank you.
Just the ability to procure and purchase within those confines, within the budgeted amounts.
Correct.
Thank you. Some motion?
Second.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Item 10I.
10I is a resolution authorizing the city manager or designee to purchase necessary supplies and equipment from Home Depot, fiscal year 22-23.
Home Depot.
Home Depot.
So we went from Staples to Amazon, and now we're at Home Depot.
Okay. So the next item is requesting approval to award a blanket purchase order with Home Depot. We piggyback a national cooperative as well, the Omnia contract for the Home Depot purchase order. I do want to highlight and note that the Home Depot contract that we piggyback offers a rebate program, and the city does benefit and participate from an annual rebate every year.
Home Depot, no public speaker cards. If we have any comments from the dais, we've all been to Home Depot. Any other comments? Okay, do we have a motion?
Motion.
So move. Second, Commissioner Stuyvesant. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we've covered the entire, feels like we've taken Biscayne Boulevard by storm here. Huh? Staples, Home Depot, Amazon. Okay, next.
And there's more.
Granger.
10J is a resolution authorizing the city manager or designee to purchase parts and supplies from W.W. Granger for fiscal year 22-23.
So I have a comment. So everyone knows Home Depot and Amazon, but what is Granger? W.W. Granger, just for the benefit of our residents. What is Granger?
So Granger, similar to Home Depot, is commercial grade MRO, maintenance, repair, and operation industrial supplies that usually Public Works purchases from.
Good, thank you.
Home Depot mainly has general use equipment and tools, where Granger is more high-end, more sustainable materials.
Okay, so go ahead, not to exceed 70,000. So you can't go to town on this one, huh?
Correct. And our contract, just to note that we piggyback a national cooperative titled NASPO contracts, and our government accounts is linked to a piggyback contract, and we receive competitive pricing.
Okay. It must be September. Okay. We have any comments? No public speaker cards? Any comments from the dais? Or we can have a motion? Can I hear a motion?
Motion.
Motion for
Second.
Granger, second for Granger. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Moving right along to Goodyear, item 10K.
10K is a resolution awarding invitation to bid number 220801 to the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company as a primary awardee to provide fleet maintenance and repair services to Group 1 vehicles.
City Clerk, can we combine 10L as well? Because it was the same invitation to bid.
Sure.
No
10L is a
consent
resolution.
agenda, no consent.
10L is a resolution awarding invitation to bid number 220801 to Ford of Midway Mall as a primary awardee to provide fleet maintenance and repair services to Group 2 vehicles.
Okay, just to go over the procurement process of how we got here. On Monday, August 15, 2022, the city released invitation to bid 220801 titled Fleet Maintenance and Repair Services. On August 23rd, the city held a non-mandatory pre-bid conference. And just for the record, a pre-bid conference is a sunshine public meeting where interested bidders have the opportunity to come on site, ask any questions to the project managers. Therefore, on August 23rd, one interested bidder did attend our pre-bid conference. On September 1st, 2022, the city clerk's office received two bids, one from Granger and one from Goodyear, thank you.
Goodyear.
One from Goodyear and one from Midway Ford. Therefore, the request tonight is to award and request to enter into agreement with Goodyear for an amount not to exceed $180,000, and this is for a 2-year term, and for Midway Ford for an amount not to exceed $60,000 for a 2-year term. For Goodyear, they are primary contractor for our cars and trucks up to 1.5 tons. And Midway Ford was awarded Group 2, which is 1.5 tons and over. And I also want to note that Midway Ford will be secondary backup to Group 1 in the event that Goodyear declines to service one of our vehicles. We always have a backup.
Not a lot of bidders on this type of service, correct? So not a lot of
Correct.
options.
Correct.
So just light vehicles and then,
And then heavy-duty vehicles would be awarded to Midway Ford.
close by, or the Goodyear is here, but the other, we have to go far for the
The other
service.
actually presented an opportunity for them to come on site and service our vehicles here. So we would have to, a mobile service, yes. We would have to coordinate where exactly that would take place, but they did offer that as an available option for us to award them the agreement.
Oh, so if they have a mobile service, that would be much more efficient,
Correct.
right, for us? That we can't get those vehicles towed or so forth if they need service.
Yes.
Great, so that's a good option. Okay. No public speaker cards. Any comments from the commission on our fleet maintenance procurement items?
Good job.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
So
I'll
moved.
second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You've been busy, huh?
Very busy.
Keeping you busy?
There's more, okay.
What, how many
We're
more
getting
we got?
comfortable
Oh, okay. 10M.
10M is a resolution authorizing an increase of the purchase order with Staples for fiscal year 2021-2022.
Okay, so the city staff is requesting an additional $10,000 to our current fiscal year PO to cover purchases for the remainder of the fiscal year until September 30th.
A lot of office supplies extra for this past year, right?
Office supplies, paper, toners are all getting purchased through Staples.
Paper alone has gone up almost 50%.
Yeah, we have seen an
It's
increase.
really ridiculous.
Okay, no public speaker cards, so I think Staples is it's pretty self-evident. So if we have a motion, can I hear a motion?
So moved.
So moved. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, item 10N.
10N is a resolution rejecting all bids received for invitation to bid number 220501 for renovations to the William Bill Lone Restroom Facility.
Okay, this request is brought to you tonight to request approval to reject all bids and rebid this solicitation. Just to give a background as to the solicitation process, on May 25th, 2022, the city released invitation to bid 220501 titled Renovations to the William Bill Lone Restroom Facility. On June 9th, 2022, the city held a non-mandatory pre-bid meeting followed by a site visit. However, no interested bidders attended the pre-bid meeting. On June 28th, 2022, the city clerk's office received one bid, and the bidder did submit exceptions to our terms and conditions, specifically to our bonding capacity requirements. Therefore, we believe it is in the best interest of the city to reject the bid that was submitted and re-advertise using less restrictive bonding requirements in hopes of more competition.
Thank you. That was something that was introduced, and it was a pretty high number for relative to that. And that's just for clarification, that Bill Lone, under the original structure of the contract, whose responsibility is it to repair and, renovate or repair, reconstruct? Because the city did not originally construct that, correct?
Correct.
But there's a contract out there, and whose responsibility is it to?
The easement agreement, from my understanding, Susan, is that the city is responsible for maintaining the restroom facility. They maintain the access.
Mhm. So it behooves us to have a more competitive or robust, bidding process for that,
Correct.
to bring the cost down. Okay.
Get some competition.
Yes.
More than a single bid, more options to consider.
Okay. So, but we will be, because that Bill Lone restroom facility is not in great condition. So hopefully we'll be able to move. It's not in great as being diplomatic. It needs work. So certainly we're going to hope to, open up that and get a competitive process and really move forward with the renovation. Okay. So we all are aware of the Bill Lone facility and its condition, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, no
And
public
once it's
speaker?
restored, I believe it'll have a longer lifespan and be more sustainable for a lesser cost.
Right, it's the roof, right, that needs, there's a roof condition. Everything, but a roof condition.
Rick is here and has
Rick.
details about the project if you'd like, if you'd like some specifics, but it is all structural.
I guess not. Susan, put him on the spot.
Oh, we're good.
We have a
There
motion.
we go.
He knows it inside and
When you have
out.
a structure that's poorly constructed to begin with,
So is it a design defect or?
Not really, it's just, it had some issues that were not maintained, and as a result, we have some structural defects we've got to get fixed, so it's time to renovate it.
Okay. Thank you, Rick. To the point, concise. Okay, no public speaker. I think we've had some comments. If we want to have a motion.
motion,
So moved. Commissioner Joseph, do we have a second?
Second.
Second, Vice Mayor Viscara. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll go out to bid again, huh?
Yes, we'll release tomorrow or on Monday.
Thank you, ladies.
Okay,
thank you.
due haste. Okay, item 10O.
10O is a resolution approving a First Amendment to the project agreement with Keith and Associates, doing business as Keith, to provide civil engineering and landscape architectural services for the Town Center Park upgrades.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, City Staff, City Manager. We're presently going through final design for the TCP Meditation Garden Park, and we want to add some lighting review and enhance lighting to the project, and that's what this is for.
Not a huge dollar amount,
No, it's not
correct?
a lot of money, and we want to make sure, since the park's open at night, we want to make sure lighting is adequate.
And we're looking at an opening
Summer of '23.
December of 20.
Summer.
Summer of 2023 for this. This is the meditation
Yes.
garden. Took a long time for this one. Took a long time. Okay, for that, no public speaker cards. Do we have any comments from the commission?
I did. I wanted to ask, while you were there, because, it's that park is, I think it gets the most use for, per square foot than probably anything else. It's very busy, especially in the evenings. While we're there assessing the lighting for the back corner, are we going to be looking at other lighting needs in the park?
No.
No. Can we?
Are there dark spots that you're thinking?
Well, we were discussing this with Susan, right, that we planted, it's unintended consequences. We planted some nice trees, but now those trees are blocking lights, because they're healthy. So it's just something I'm not saying to add it to this, but it's something to consider, because what we don't want is to pass up an opportunity, as long as we're addressing a similar issue in the same space, and to not address a potentially unsafe condition just because of
Sure.
lighting purposes. So
Or maybe some uplighting or something,
something, just as long as we're there, let's take a
just
look.
to,
But other than that, I would say I would motion, unless somebody else has.
Motion?
I would motion.
So moved. Second, all in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Item 10P.
10P is a resolution approving a Fourth Amendment to the agreement with Brightview Landscape Services for right-of-ways and facility landscape maintenance services.
Good evening again. This is the fourth and final amendment to the Brightview Landscape Services contract. This is the fifth year of their contract, and next year this will be going out to bid. They adhered to the price increases that we would allow in their contract. We did do significant negotiations back and forth to make this happen. Originally, their proposed increases were significantly higher. The other landscape contractor in the city, which is Visualscape, also could have been used as a backup. However, utilizing the negotiations back and forth, Brightview came in still under what it would have taken to revert to the other vendor should we not have been able to come to some type of agreement. So we are satisfied with their services at this point, and we wish to renew for October 1 through September 30th of '23.
No public speaker comments, no cards. That's a pretty substantial increase, correct?
It is, but the monthly services, they adhere to the 5% increase. The only place that we may experience other things are in the actual materials, and that is something that is outside their control as far as pricing for particular plant materials, et cetera.
And there are a dearth of landscaping companies that really can service a large contract
We will see what
such
happens
as
when we
this.
go out to bid next year for right-of-ways. Visualscape has additional renewals.
Visualscape has one more, yes.
Yes. So we will be going out for right-of-ways next year. We'll see what kind of bidders we get. We will be putting that out next summer for a 10/1 of 2023 start on a new contract. So we'll see if we have more competition than these top two that we currently awarded the original bids to. For parks as one contract, right-of-ways is the second. We spend substantial money in the city for landscaping.
Agreed. Okay, if we have any comments from the commission?
No.
Do we have a motion?
Motion.
I'll
So
second.
moved. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Item 10Q,
10Q is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, Florida, ratifying a first amendment to the lease agreement between the City of Sunny Isles Beach and Suffolk Construction Company.
Honorable Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners, in July, we brought to you an agreement with Suffolk to rent some of the space at Tony Roma's, the vacated Tony Roma's. We had first only offered a very small space so that the Public Works team could get in there and still do some other repairs in the other areas due to roof leaks and things like that. They came back to us almost immediately and wanted twice as much space. We were able to accommodate that, and we doubled the rent. So we went from $5,000 a month to $10,000 a month.
okay.
And because you were on recess, the city manager approved this amendment. So it's for your ratification.
Okay.
This still has the 2-week, vacate clause, so that if they do know we're going out to bid, or that we've gone out to bid, and they are going to accommodate us when we have our pre-bid meeting and touring and everything else.
When is this is for the Tony Roma space, so the RFP went out, and so we have a pre-bid meeting on next week? The 20th of September?
Yes.
Oh, so it's coming up right away. And so we've been able to mesh the objectives of leasing out and monetizing the space area with, ushering in a more permanent lease arrangement.
Correct.
Okay, great. Sounds good.
Sounds good.
No public speakers? We have any questions, comments, or if not, a motion? So moved.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Joseph, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 10R, is that,
10R is a resolution approving the lease agreement between the City of Sunny Isles Beach and A3 Atlantic Boulevard LLC. For the record, Mayor, just to clarify really quickly, there was a typo on the resolution. This is in fact an approval and not a ratification as it's reflected in the agenda.
okay?
Mauricio's being kind. It would have been a ratification, except we are still negotiating those terms. So we had hoped to have them in September 1, but we're still working on that. So it's not a ratification, we're still working on it, but it would be requesting approval in substantially the same form as what you have in your packet.
Okay, can you comment on this lease or agreement?
Yes, so that same space, So 2 areas, we've kind of broken up the.
This is in the
interior-
Tony Roma's space. This is a different area, but the same overall
Correct. Yes.
space.
Different area. So there's 2 kind of private rooms. This is the other private room.
More money.
Yes. So once this is approved, it'll be $20,000 a month in rent, and they are covering all of the utilities.
In the same 2 weeks condition.
Same 2 weeks condition, yes.
Pretty self-explanatory. No public speaker comments? Any other comments or a motion?
Motion.
So moved. Commissioner
Second.
Stuyvesant, Commissioner Joseph, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Moving right along. Item 10T.
10T is resolution approving the purchase of that's a mistake, of a 2022 Starcraft shuttle bus from Creative Bus Sales.
Honorable Mayor, Commissioners, we had on the books during the 21-22 year a carried over purchase order for a purchase of a shuttle bus that was intended to originally replace a 2012 bus that was due to be taken out of service. That vendor notified us not too long ago that delivery time for them to get the chassis on the ground and build the bus for us is extended by another 270 days. That was a blow. But we, luckily, just out of the blue, received communication from another bus vendor who just happened to have a bus that I'm not sure if it was rejected by someone else or what happened, but they offered us the ability to buy another bus. And it is substantially the same bus, except that it is not a diesel, it is a gasoline engine. That is really the only difference between the 2 shuttle buses. And the price actually is less because it is a gasoline engine versus a diesel. We are contemplating in the future converting our buses to compressed natural gas for a green initiative, and it won't matter as far as whether it's a gasoline engine or a diesel engine if we do make those conversions. And after a lengthy discussion with our transportation manager, he felt that this was a great option to go ahead and get a bus in. Next year's budget needed to have a bus in it anyway. So we are not canceling the extended bus order for 270 extra days. We will carry that purchase over into next year and use next year's budget for that purchase. But in the meantime, we will be able to acquire this gasoline bus now or in October. And so what you're seeing in front of you is a ratification of a decision that we asked the city manager to make so that we could make sure to secure the ability to purchase this bus that's coming on the ground now and actually will be available to us now.
Great. This is our circulator, but of course, with our traffic analysis, we're evaluating our circulator service and our circulator routes vis-a-vis
Correct.
on demand and so forth, and some items. But this is replacing a 2012 service vehicle, which is that's in my
High mileage
calculation,
and, again,
10 years
has
old.
started
Right.
having maintenance issues, so it is past its useful life, and we didn't expect to have to wait this long for the bus that we had on order.
Mhm.
So supply chain issues strike again.
Yes. Okay. Pretty
When it
straightforward.
goes by, it's like a rickety-rackety vehicle.
We don't want that.
Okay. But we are evaluating we are evaluating our overall ridership, city ridership on our circulator.
Absolutely. The
When-
transportation study is in progress.
How long before that study is
They
completed?
should be coming back to us. They just started less than a month ago, and they're starting with their research first, and they should be back to us in about 3 months with a final completion date in 6 months.
So that it can further inform us in terms of our future purchasing and future mobility objectives.
Absolutely. They're contemplating everything, including, there will be public surveys, so we encourage you all to participate in those when they come out. So they're starting with the actual riders on the bus, and then it'll be going out to the public.
Great. Okay. All right. We have no public speaker cards. Comments or a motion? So moved. Commissioner Lama, second. Vice Mayor, who made the
I did,
second?
I did.
Vice Mayor Viscara, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so 10U and 10V we've already covered, correct?
Yes,
So
we've
now-
reached the end of resolutions.
Correct, so now we're on discussion items, so item 12A. Vice Mayor
Oh,
Viscara, that's you.
me. Okay, so this one was a little interesting. So I came across in the county website information about possible exemptions for senior citizens, homestead exemptions, and there's a list of cities, and we were not on it. So I brought it to the attention of staff, and it turns out that that ordinance was actually passed about 10 years ago, but it was never transmitted to the county. So, like, we have it, but we don't have it. So I just wanted to, I brought it forward thinking we didn't have it. So now that we know we have it, but we don't have it, how do we address it?
Yeah, the clerk just needs to send it to the property appraiser, and
Okay.
I would assume it'd be effective in the next taxing year.
It should be. I'll forward it to the tax collector and the property appraiser's office by tomorrow, and yeah, it should be effective by the next tax year.
All right, so then we'll just give an update at the next meeting as to
Yeah,
where we are.
yeah, sure.
Okay, perfect. That's it for me.
Okay, item 12B.
12B is the discussion regarding the sports courts complex. This is the city engineer.
Rick?
Rick, you're up.
Intercoastal Court Sports. That's the one south of the city.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, and staff. What we're looking at tonight is our conceptual plan for the Intracoastal Court Sport Complex that's located down at 159th and Collins Avenue on the west side of the road. Original schematic plan, if you could flip through to the site plan.
Rick, you should have okay, Mike did it already. It's okay, never mind.
Okay, this site plan for the project, it's basically going to maintain the existing parking area, reconfigure it a little bit and redo it. We're going to add a tennis court with basketball options to it, and 2 pickleball courts, and then a building for office, covered sitting area, and storage for any equipment they have, or removal of windscreens. If a hurricane's coming, we'll have a place to put them. The access is going to be controlled to the facility and also to the parking lot via gates. So the worker at the building will have full view of everything that's going on, and be able to control who comes in and out, so we can limit the parking to just the park people, since it's very limited there in the first place.
Right. So how
So-
long to, from conception to construction to completion?
Probably a year,
Okay.
yeah. Well, if you like the site plan, then the next step is to get the consultants to complete all the drawings, and permits, which are, a couple of months, 3 months to do that. Go out to bid early next year, award it in, say, April, and get it done as soon as possible.
I have to
Maybe summer next year.
I have to say, great job siting on a small lot size. I really,
Yes.
it's very impressive what this looks like. It really was very impressive, what a great job they did in such a small lot.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry. No.
Really great job.
I really,
There's also some renderings, if you want to flip through, you'll see some potential building colors and renderings of the building itself. So you'll get an idea what it's going to look like from the street, on the sides, and from the courts. You can see on the top left, there's the open covered area in the middle. There's also 2 bathrooms in there, so we'll have that facility. We'll have the drinking water fountain facilities as usual at our parks.
I would like to have the input of the residents of the area. Talking to the people of the South, which is the one that I represent, I really don't like this plan. I don't believe we need 19 parking spaces in that area. The people is going to park in there to go to the beach or whatever. There is nothing commercial south from 163rd. And originally, that was supposed to be a green area. And we do need more parking recreations, specifically for the teens, that I believe are the ones that are going to be using these facilities the most. So I am happy with putting there a basketball court, tennis court, pickleball, you name it, like anything that is going to make our teens, young adults, whoever wants to use the facility, be there. But to have 19 parking spaces in there, and I know we are not doing anything in the parking lot, it's already done, because we are using the same parking that it was there for the South Center. But it just, I think, is going to create chaos. Also, what happened with the basketball court under the causeway, and for what I know, one of the reasons that they ultimately closed is because there was people coming from everywhere to play in there. So it was a little bit hard to keep up with the basketball court. So I agree that it's a nice design. I don't agree that it's the design that we need for that area south, where everything is residential. 19 parking spaces is just only going to take area that we can be using potentially for more recreation. Right now, in our budget, we approved to bring a service like the freebie. We just approved new shuttles. So there are possibilities for the people who wants to go to any of our park through the city. So I don't see that it's necessary to have 19 parking spaces in that area.
So is your idea to increase, put another tennis court in there and reduce the parking spaces?
Yeah, I don't want any parking space at all, altogether. I don't think it's necessary. I will even agree.
You probably need some
I will-
parking. I guess that's really,
Intracosta doesn't have any parking. We have a playground in there, and we don't have any parking space in there. And so I don't need if there are any specific requirement that we must have it. I will not know that right now, so maybe they can give us more clarification with that. But for example, like the volleyball girls right now, they don't have enough area to practice. They are practicing at 7 in the morning, and half of the court is using for acrobatics or something else, something like that, right? So maybe we can consider having an area where they can, for volleyball, for any other sports, any kind of other equipment to do there, some outdoor, like gym equipment, like we have like I found and I brought some new.
So is the idea to give up additional parking spaces and add a volleyball or some other court or some other recreational?
Yeah, even green will be better than having parking space in there.
How many
The combination basketball, tennis also has a volleyball option.
Perfect.
So how many, based on the architectural input or engineering input or even site plan, or zoning, how many parking spaces do you need? I mean,
I don't know.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying, we don't want
You need at least-
people going to use it to go to the, I get that.
The parking lot is almost taking a third of the overall area. Like a third we are putting for parking. Again, I know it's convenient and cost effective because it already exists. The parking is there, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So, but we are giving a third of the space just to use something that is already pre-done. And right now we have the opportunity to make something good for our community. And I repeat myself, I'm sorry, but I know it's convenient to keep it. But that's not what the people of the South want, of the people that I have spoken to. Maybe we can include like a workshop or a town hall and talk to the people about, to see what is that they want in there. But this layout as it is right now giving a third of the area for just parking, I don't see the necessity of that parking space in there. Yeah.
Let's do the reverse analysis. If we add more recreational area and take away parking spaces, we're not going to have enough parking spaces to accommodate that, right?
Exactly.
But
So
now
that's the problem. I mean, your point is well taken. I would love to have no cars on the road. That's a perfect world, no more
Correct.
cars. But if you add another court, now you have 18 people or 20 people on the recreational side, and now you don't have enough parking spaces to sustain that activity.
And I agree with that, but also the other analysis that we can make is who's going to be using this? Because if it's our teenagers that they're going to be using, that they want it, they need it, they're craving for basketball and this kind of, our teenagers are not driving as it is. So, and they're walking around, they come even walking or bicycling
I think it's both. I think the pickleball is for all range of adults.
But
And
if we want to be
all
more
the people in
green,
the buildings, they want, I've been building to building, they want this pickleball.
I would think
Yes.
if you're
Aren't
going
we
to take
gonna
away
control the-
parking spots, that,
Sorry?
So
I would
is it going to
think
be
if-
resident only?
if you're going to
I
take
guess my
away
question.
parking spots,
That was
that
the
you
goal.
should then take the basketball off the tennis court and make a separate half-court basketball where you would be taking away parking spots.
In the back.
Because I think there's
And-
going to be a problem with the basketball on the tennis court,
So could you
where
put
you
it,
might get one or two people bouncing a basketball around, and they're taking up the entire tennis court where 4 people can play.
could you
and
put
vice
it in the
versa.
back? Susan, could you put it in, or Rick, can you put it in the back where that hatched area is? Could you put a half, something for, in that area, that hatched
If
area?
I
if
think
you
we
do
need a full
that,
basketball.
It becomes very difficult to, if the lot is full and you don't have that area, how do you get out of that lot? You have to back out onto Collins. You need that area to be able to,
Do a
to,
tournament.
yeah, if all
that's
those
why
spots
we
are
striped
taken,
it out like
you
that.
can't get out of there.
So for
Exactly.
me, I'm happy with the design. I mean, would I like it to be 6 parking spaces instead of 18? Maybe, but I mean, it's for me, that's just my
But-
individual take, but again, I'll defer
Correct, but
on
we
what
also,
need.
we are saying that we want to be more green. And as it is, most of the people, there is a lot of mobility here in the city. Our children are going, walking, bicycling, etc., to school. So to go there, if you're going to go for exercises, everything here in Sunny Isles is in a
Sure.
bicycling or walking distance.
Okay,
We
so
have
let's
we
consider.
have out of
Let's-
3 intracoastal parks, there's a park network. 2 out of the 3 are completely grass and green.
Yes, correct, yes.
So
But let's
it's not
consider,
like,
on the
and we're
south
getting-
side,
One other point, just when Marinas gets built out, aren't they giving additional green space? So you can't really look at this in a vacuum. You have to also consider what's happening just in the north of this property. So if you're saying we're taking away green space, I don't think that's exactly what's happening here, because we're inheriting green space immediately contiguous to this property, correct?
Yes, we will have the north area, the area just north of the top of that picture, will be an easement. We won't own it, but it'll be an easement that will be a green, very
But
similar to
correct me
Intercoastal Park North
if
and
I'm
South.
wrong, that originally, that was supposed to be all green, including this area.
This area,
Yes,
that was the discussion at the time that we.
correct.
the
Like in
property,
the
yes.
plans, I remember seeing it was all like a continuation of intracoastal green area, all
Mm-hmm.
green, alongside Collins. So I'm okay, and I do want to build parking there. I want to see a full basketball court. I want to see pickleball, or potentially tennis. I'm okay with that as well. I just don't want to compromise a third of the area just to put more cars, parking spaces. Again, considering that we have so many options, like the freebie that we just approved in the budget.
Okay, but is it the idea, because I've heard from residents as well, pro and con, and we're also in the middle of a survey where we're getting a huge, right? The survey's been very robust, and we're getting a huge request for these very items.
Correct.
But that's regarding the
Basketball,
Golden
tennis, and
Shores
pickleball.
area.
But
No, I'm
For
sorry.
It's citywide,
Oh.
correct? For tennis and pickleball,
We
correct?
we did a citywide survey.
There are two surveys.
Walking and cycling paths came in the highest. Tennis courts came in second. Outdoor basketball, indoor and outdoor fitness were next, and outdoor basketball was after that, and then pickleball court.
We can put outdoor fitness in there.
Now, we
There is the
actually
equipment to put outdoor fitness in
We have indoor
there.
basketball at Pelican Park.
It's
How well
not enough.
utilized is
It's not
that?
enough.
So
That is the
I guess
problem.
my question is, again, I go back to, how many spaces do we need to sustain this?
Zero.
And can we make
Well, that's
it
gonna happen with
so
the tennis
that
as
these
well.
spaces are only being used for the residents and we're not having a parking lot just for beachgoers?
And when we start
Can
pulling
we
the cars out of there,
So
we're
we-
going to be again,
So can we, kind of restrict the access of this parking lot to only residents? So we're kind of,
The goal is
like
that-
controlling the flow.
It's not just resident only, but it is also resident only using that park. So you couldn't drive there, park your car, and go to the beach. It would be restricted to only people at the park. Just like we do code enforcement, parking enforcement is great in other areas. You park where you're not, we will be the RK of, sorry, we'll tow if,
Get out
leave
the
their car there
dolphin towing
and
truck.
go somewhere else.
I think we
Get
should,
ready
this
for the
area,
phone calls.
But we can regulate that.
I'm sorry, the population right now that I think is the one that more in need of these kind of services, I would say is our teens. Again, our teens, they are not driving cars. So if we want to put them there, no, in general, of course. So if we want to make them be there and have like a teen area, etc., I don't see the need, again, to give a third of the area. We are not going to have this opportunity again, or in a short time. So let's do it right from the very beginning. And I don't see the need of the parking altogether.
Now, I don't see the need for 19 spots, but you need how many handicapped by law?
At least one.
At least one, right?
Mhm.
So if you make 11 plus one handicap, and then the other 7 can be usable space for something else?
Potentially.
If
I mean,
we
you
could-
can
if we
configure it any
could-
way you want, but you have at least one employee there. You're going to have maintenance staff that's going to have to get in there to take out the garbage and stuff like that. So, if you plan for
And what are
minimum
you
people-
planning on all court, the surface, all
Um,
weather?
I would guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Hasn't been
So then
determined.
it needs less maintenance,
One
just
question,
rollers for
Susan.
the
Right.
rain, whatever.
The future easement that we are getting from Marina del Mar can be used for parking?
No, I believe that easement, I will check, but I believe it says in there that it's for green space.
Okay. Like this used to be, was supposed to be. Original, in the plan.
It
In the
was a
plan.
discussion, I don't know that that was ever like a resolution.
Okay, so.
Well, I think, go ahead, Alex.
Sorry. No, what I was going to suggest is that obviously the survey is still ongoing. We should look at some of the results of that survey and have a workshop and start discussing some of these items. Obviously, the space is small. I have questions about, you have the basketball court, tennis court, how that's going to function, because obviously you're going to have some overlap, and perhaps it's going to also, triple as a volleyball court. So we need to kind of be mindful of
I don't
that.
think that's going to happen.
And we really
That's
need
gonna
to
be
sit
too
down
much.
and think about really how many parking spaces we're going to need. I understand that's going to be gated, so we're going to be controlling it, the in and out, and it's going to be for residents only. Think about it, basketball, you have what, at least 3-on-3, you might have 5-on-5 right there. And you have guests that come and see these players. Same thing with the tennis, the pickleball.
And you have alternate teams, so.
Yeah, so.
When you look at
so
pickleball
we got-
games, you got 4-on-4 typically, and then
It's
there's
not the
teams
players
waiting.
attending, yeah, so we need to talk about all of these things, and I think it'll be good to look at the survey results as a team, no pun intended, and look at what possibilities there are.
But I think
Yeah.
what we can derive from this whole discussion is that there is some consensus that, it would be there is some viability to having, recreational use in this site. I think you would agree with that.
Oh, yeah, we
You
want the
it-
recreation,
You
yes.
want the recreation, so, and it dovetails nicely into this survey process. Whether we can squeeze out something additionally here, or whether or not we do ultimately need all of those spaces. I'm happy with the design, but, for the good of the order, if we need to have
Could we
a
get-
more discussion about that, that's fine.
Could we get some consensus from the commission, parking, no parking at all, so that we can
Yeah.
at least
Parking.
then know?
First, I'd
about
like to-
that?
You need parking, you need
You
parking,
can't-
you
you have to have
absolutely
parking.
Yeah,
You
no,
have
we
to
need
have
some
parking.
parking, yeah.
You have to
Now-
have parking.
You have
Right.
to have parking.
Okay.
Now, what I was trying to bring up earlier is, on the south side, I would like to know, I know Point Siena has, 6 or 7
No.
tennis courts?
4.
Point Siena, how many?
4.
4 tennis courts, okay. And any basketball?
They took it over. They took down the basketball court, and now they're using it as a staging area for the seawall.
Okay, whatever. Okay, so anyway, but Point Siena on the south side, not far from this potential new area.
Which is private.
It's private, yes, but I'm just saying, those residents would not be using this
Correct.
area because,
But they don't have pickleball.
oh, they don't have pickleball, okay.
But they
But
can use it if they want to, of course.
Right, absolutely, but I'm
They're
not,
not-
but I'm
they're
not
not
saying,
gonna
I'm
use
not
the
saying
tennis
it for that reason. Okay, so what other buildings on the east side
Ritz-Carlton.
have tennis courts?
No, Ritz is interested in pickleball. I've spoken with Muse. I've spoken with different buildings. People are real excited about this.
No, I know that. That's when I was running also. That was my original idea, and that's why I was talking about revising parks and all. But what I'm asking is, what buildings on the east side of Collins in the 50s have tennis courts? Are there any?
I think Arlen 100 has tennis courts.
Arlen
Again, they're
House has
private,
tennis courts.
But they're
Yeah,
private.
they're private, I understand that.
Plaza, maybe.
So
I'm
those
not sure.
people, but they're, I'm-
Plaza.
So
Who's
it's
going-
Trump
That
has
was the
Yeah.
Trump
point.
towers.
So-
There are 800 units in the Trump towers. I don't know how many units.
but do
in
they
the
have tennis
Ritz-Carlton.
courts? Do
I
any
don't
buildings
know,
have
but I
tennis?
don't
We
think
also need
so.
outdoor
Do any
fitness.
buildings have
We-
basketball?
We don't have fitness,
Oh,
so
the
we
tr-
want fitness as well.
Well, Tony Schneider is, we should take him up on his offer. He wants to, offer equipment. Let's
That-
find a spot where we could
that
put his
actu-
equipment.
That's actually
He's
in
been
the
talking about
budget.
it for years.
That's in the budget?
There is some fitness equipment in the budget. We have some already at Town Center Park. There's actually some stations along the
Correct.
pathway as well as the
Let's,
group
if he's willing
stations.
to
And then
help
we have
work
in the
with us,
budget.
Let's
to
take
add
him up
more.
on it and get some outside equipment,
That'd be a perfect
In a-
area
in a
to put
certain area.
outdoor
I don't
fitness.
know what equipment, I don't
Well-
know,
I don't know, he's
We'd like
been,
to see the bars and, what
Yeah.
you see kind of like a lot in the beaches and
Miami
Brazil
Beach.
and
So?
California.
You mean like the push-up
The
bars?
push-up bars and some calisthenics.
Mhm.
You have to have a place to put it.
Yeah,
Those
you
push-up
need some
bars
area.
are
The-
not.
The problem is that space is limited, so we need to decide what.
well, I
we
know he's
want
been
there.
talking
We can't cram
about
stuff
a
in
beach
there.
area, or maybe in Golden Shores, there might be an area,
No, we have an area that we are going to use in the
Yeah.
future. It's under the causeway. So over there,
Right.
there is a lot of things that we are going to be doing there.
The
Yes.
bars, you can't just have bars on a concrete pad either, right?
no, it's,
So you have to
You wanna
be
have it in
cognizant
a-
of what the lower surface, but I guess to Susan's point, we're budgeted for it already, or, I think it's a separate discussion item.
Correct, we
I
are
think
planning, that's a separate.
The idea is here, how do we, I think there's consensus of this general plan, but for the number of parking spaces and whether or not we can repurpose some of that area designated for parking spaces, whether that's viable to add more recreation and what that would look like. I think that's kind of where I see it.
Yes.
if we can separate the basketball from the tennis, I think that would be a big plus.
But I don't know that we have the physical space to do that in this.
So
mean-
we will look, we will go back to the engineer, see if we can reduce some parking spaces and what else we could fit there if we reduce the parking spaces, and see what else we can get in there.
And consistent with the results of the survey, where
Correct.
there's something that, based on that, that was the whole point of having that survey.
And I think that something we need to consider is that, yes, this is a park that's on the south side, but it's not for south side residents
Correct.
only.
Correct.
Because
Correct.
there may be people on the north
Mhm.
side who want to play pickleball there. They don't have an option anywhere
Exactly.
else.
No.
And they're going
Yeah,
to come
of
down.
course.
So
We're
you
going to
need
get
to
a
know,
lot of
are they going to
movement
drive?
from
Are they going to take the
northern
bus?
people.
And to your point about Point Siena, oh, nobody in Point Siena is going to come because they have their own courts. Well, a group of teenagers may think differently, because they may want to play, that might be a more accessible place for a group of kids to get together, a better court,
Newer
or a cooler place, if they have the seating or whatever. So that may not be true either, like that, we don't know how that's going to play out.
That would be unfortunate,
I think we
but I
need to
could see it,
consider, give me one
as
second,
a
give me one
possibility,
second, give me one
but
second.
it would be
One
unfortunate.
second, Jerry, I'm still talking. I think we need to consider who is going to use it, not who we understand if you're in Arlington House, you probably won't drive there. Okay, we get it. But who else is going to come? And the survey is really, I guess the answer is going to be in the survey. And this really is a conversation about what to do with the parking. I don't think anybody's disputing the other parts. If we get the thing, then you're saying, okay, maybe we can split up the basketball court or whatever. But what I'm hearing is, to your question, Susan, do you have consensus? I think clearly the answer is no. We don't have consensus about the parking. I don't know, because I don't know who's going to come. I don't know what the need is.
I
I
know
don't
we
know
need
how the
some
people in the
parking.
north are going to behave as to how they're going to get here. And you do want to make it accessible to everybody. You don't want it to be, you don't want it to feel like Arlen House got the park. You want it to be for everybody. And that may need some parking, but
Okay,
I don't think we have the answer yet.
I have a question, sorry. There is a park in Golden Shores, a playground in the corners. It has no parking. I cannot go to that with my son, and it's for little kids. Yes.
Yeah, that's why we have the gate, so that you can park under the William Lehman. So the gate is open while the park is open. So
Correct.
you can go park at the William Lehman in the public parking lot and go to the park.
And cross there from the under area to go to the park. On the
It's
other
right
side,
there.
yeah.
It's a walkway, it's a little walkway.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
But we cannot park in Golden Shores to go there.
Correct, you cannot.
We cannot.
Mhm.
So, if it's a requirement to have a parking space in there, I wish that we can consider the minimum necessary for the requirement. So, if it's according to the square meters or whatever, I will be okay, of course, because I want to be compliant with the minimum necessary. And let's go and be green. And let's use the freebie. Let's use the shuttle, let's bicycle. If you're going there just to actually do exercise, it's like looking at somebody doing bicycling and smoking at the same time. It doesn't make that much sense. So let's use the least space necessary for parking and the more for recreation.
Maybe we can do something regarding resident parking stickers.
That'll be I think that could be the compromise.
Okay,
You know.
I think that's fair enough. I
So
think we
that
just
we-
need to go back
so
to the
we know when
engineer
it's a
and the
resident
architect
parking
and
a
say,
vehicle.
is there something else that we can kind of squeeze out of this space?
Sure.
And what are the requisite, parking spaces for this? What's the minimum number? And is there some way to reallocate or increase some recreational feature on this space? But I think we're in agreement about
Yes.
Couple pool tables.
doing
there.
this, ping pong, whatever. But I think we're in agreement about converting this to
Outdoor.
active recreation. We're just not in agreement about.
Oh,
the
absolutely,
parking area.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
Oh,
We're good.
absolutely.
We can bring you
getting
something
warmer
back.
here.
We'll bring you
Yeah,
something
yeah.
back.
We're getting
Outdoor
warmer.
fitness too.
We understand.
That's good.
Just as
Thank
a
you.
point of info on the multi-use court, the idea was to have parks set up different days. So Monday might be basketball, Tuesday might be volleyball, Wednesday
good.
might be tennis.
That's good, that's good.
So that you don't have the conflict between people and
That's good.
activities, and you can get more of the people that want to.
Well, do we have any beach
participate.
volleyball in the 150s
No,
area?
no,
We have,
only
we
174.
have beach volleyball in Hallover Park.
Right, but there's
it's
nowhere,
not-
there's no availability for it in the 150s?
No,
It's-
we have it at 174th Street at Sampson Oceanfront Park because that's our park. We don't have any.
People play there?
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We don't have any park space on the ocean south of the
But yeah,
pier.
and Hollover has it. but
And
we have
behind
it
Newport, I
once
seen
where-
people playing volleyball also behind
The
Newport.
Newport does,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, yeah, they do.
That's
yeah.
their property.
Yeah. No, I know, but they allow everybody, as far as I sing, to play, yeah.
Good. All right, well, we got a good starting point,
Okay,
a
we'll
good
get some more
baseline.
info and get back to you next month.
I'd just like to say that regarding the switching days, I think for someone that's looking for tennis courts in the area, that might not be a positive for them.
Well, again,
Jerry,
that's going to be an operational
Yeah.
thing.
maybe
I think-
you should move to
That might be a
Poinciana.
disappointment. Yeah.
Maybe he should move to Poinciana. You have a lot of tennis courts in there. Yeah, so.
Where all the fun happens.
I mean, regarding parking, I think you need parking spaces, because I live on the 174, if I like to go there and play tennis on a hot day, I'm not gonna walk there.
Yes, you are, Alex. You are walking all the time. Come on, you are.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll give you a hat. I'll give you a hat and you go. Yes, I do. I sponsor it. I sponsor the umbrella.
Strike it as an umbrella.
Everything, yeah.
You will discourage use of the park if you.
Yes,
will.
you're right. This is a very good, it's a good conversation
It
and a
is.
good exercise. So I think we can now move forward.
And get the input of the people. Continue getting input from the
No,
people.
it's great.
Yeah.
Hey, more active recreation, the
Thank you
better.
very
Thank
Mayor,
you so
we-
much. Thank
We
you.
do have some
Thank
public
you.
speaker.
Yes, but we received 2 public speakers for this item after the item was called. And it's up to you if you want to
Yes.
call them to speak or
yes.
not.
Yes, let's hear.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Who?
Felix Kisner
Felix.
and Alan Cole.
All right, let's go. Quick, Veet. Quick. Like an athlete.
My name is Felix Kisner, 215 174th Street in Sunny Isles Beach. I think one of the things is, first of all, thank you. Finally living in Florida, a city having its own tennis court. Could you imagine that? After all these years, being in Florida and having a tennis court. First of all, congratulations on that. Number 2, my concern is I did not see any divisions there. Is there any divisions, any walls between the courts or anything else like that?
It's through fencing, similar to other courts, there's fence.
There's fence, okay, good. So basically, I think it comes down to the following. I've seen, according to the plan, you have traffic that's going to be, we have Ubers sometimes stopping, we have FedEx stopping, we have laundry delivery stopping. The question is, how much of entrance and exit way of a traffic it's going to generate in that particular area, if you're going to have a lot of cars entering in and out. That's my only concern, because we've seen, it's like an artery, right? It's like a cholesterol clogging. As soon as you have one car stop there, right away you have a backup and you have traffic and everyone's screaming, we have, problems with traffic. So please consider, where I support what Fabiola said, Honorable Commissioner Stuyvesant. Yes, we want to create areas. We are a small city. It's not like we're North Miami Beach. And I think a combination of zoning and the laws with handicapped, I think there's, we have to abide by that. But on the other hand, we have to look at, if cars are going to be coming in and out all the time, backing out, is there enough space where we're going to have a hot spot? That's the only point that I want to make. Thank you.
Thank you, Felix. Next. Alan, name and address.
Alan Call, 210 174th Street, Winston Tower 600. Yeah, I just wanted to add to this park, or any park, is remember the EV vehicles. Try to remember, since you're putting something in, maybe provide 1 station, 2 station, and keep in mind that the standard charging stations are like maintenance-free, and they're half the price than the supercharging stations, which require twice the price, and they require a lot of maintenance. But the standard charging ones are like maintenance-free, so it wouldn't be that complicated.
Wouldn't require that.
But, whether it be this court or, always keep in mind your EV stations.
Thank you, Alan. And
Good point. We have EV stations at all of our other parks, correct?
We have 4 locations in the city. City Hall is one of them, 175th is another, Gateway and Heritage.
Oh, okay, we don't have a town center. Okay.
I would add as a thought, I'm so sorry, just before it escapes my mind. if parking is eliminated, maybe we can carve out, because now I'm thinking, maybe there would be parents who would be dropping off kids, and then where are they gonna pull over? Right, when you said the thing about the FedEx, I'm like, well, that could be parents too, driving their kids to the park. And where do you want them to do that? Then they're gonna be blocking Collins. So maybe one of the options could be, what if we carve out like a drop-off lane?
Yes.
And, I don't know, I'm just throwing that out there, I'm not an engineer,
No,
but
that'd be like
it's
a
just
good
a thought.
idea.
Like, we
Okay.
wanted to have that at the Pier Park, right? To have a drop-off lane for the pier.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be something good. That'd be a good alternative. I
you get
love
that,
it.
Rick?
I like it.
Drop
Yeah,
off
yeah, you have like a
lane.
curb,
North is
inside
taking
curb,
an
where
easy-
you go, you drop off,
play because
and
there's
it
no
doesn't need to be
parking.
at Collins.
Did you get that,
Okay.
Rick? A drop-off lane?
Drop-off lane, Rick.
Yeah, we'll get it. We'll
take
convey
a
it to
look.
them. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Very excited about moving this space in a new way.
Yes.
I love it.
But
the
we just
residents.
want to, if I can just say, we want to come to some decisions so we can actually, not have it be in 2020, 2024 or 2025. We want to
Agree.
be able to have some
I
consensus
want to move
to get it moving.
quickly as possible. We have one public speaker patiently awaiting. Les Vasquez, thank you so much for your patience. Citizens Forum.
Good evening, Mayor, commissioners, and to you all. A lot of residents, they're very concerned in regards to the candidate for mayor, Anita
Please speak into
Funkett.
the microphone.
Anita Funkett. And it has been brought to our attention that she registered a few months ago. And as I attended the Residence Academy, I understood that you have to be registered a year prior to go for the mayor's office. So we would like to know what steps the city clerk has taken in regards to her registration, and also as she's running for a public office, if she can show proof of her income tax return, the one that she filed this year for 2021. Okay?
Do you want it?
No.
Okay. After the last election, you might know that we went ahead and amended our code to require that anybody who's qualifying must provide one of the following documents: a city resident identification card, voter registration, driver's license, property tax receipt, and homestead exemption, all of which must have been in effect for at least 1 year prior to qualifying. Now, the clerk's job is merely ministerial. If someone comes and provides him that information, and they sign the oath that's required, that's all the clerk can do, and that's all the city can do. If someone believes that someone is not qualified, you'd have to file a lawsuit in circuit court and get a judge to make that determination. But this city, this commission, and the clerk in particular can't make those determinations.
Okay, I just want to bring this up, and, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Lizelle.
Thank you, it's good. Thank you for your civic engagement.
Okay, we have no other public speaker cards? With that, can we take a motion to adjourn?
I second.
No,
I
we're going
second
to
Fabiola.
defer that. A motion and a second?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Pickleball, tennis, basketball.